What's up everybody, D-Man back. Welcome to a brand new video, and today we're going to be doing another Godzilla X Kong The New Empire figure review. And in this one we will be reviewing Suko with Titanus Doug. That's right, this is the new Playmates toys, Suko with Titanus Doug. The best thing to come out of this is that ad where Suko whips a rock at Skar King's head, but here's the new Suko and Doug. I just gotta say, I do appreciate that they didn't just sell a Suko toy because I feel like that just isn't enough, so I appreciate that Doug's with him. Does that mean the two of them are gonna be linked in the movie? I have a feeling that Doug is gonna kind of be Suko's pet, but I guess we'll wait and see. That's gonna be my prediction though. I think Doug's gonna be a bit of a menace who just kind of rummages around the Monarch facility. Suko's a character that I've seen has really grown on a lot of fans from the first trailer where people had an initial like what the hell reaction to the design, and now people are really warmed up to the character. I do like the bit in trailer 2 where Suko's throwing a rock. I'm glad that they gave him a little rock accessory here. I hate so much whenever any franchise tries to make a character look cute by giving them baby features or just doing whatever they can to make the character a cuter version of a different character. Just give us a baby Kong and it would have looked fine. Suko's eyes are too big, his forehead is too small, he just doesn't look real. He looks so odd. It's like Baby Groot, which I was never a fan of. And then Doug is a meme that, as I've said, I thought was funny because it was something that the fans created and it was nice to see the filmmaker play along with, but as soon as they make it official, I feel like it killed the joke. The fact that Doug is a character in the MonsterVerse, I like the box. This is actually, I think, one of the cooler ones just because you can see a bit more of it because the figures are so small. On the back of the box, you've got Suko and Doug, and then you've got all the Playmates figures, of which I finally have them all. There are some other ones that I don't have, of course, like the Evolving Godzilla I don't have. I'm just glad to have the initial Playmates run for these figures. The back of the box does give us a little description here saying, don't let his size fool you. Suko is a scrappy fighter with raw primal strength and a bad attitude, who always has Kong's back. Nothing about Doug though. As far as we're aware, Doug's just a dude who ate a crab one time and people cheered. You'd think that Kong would have Suko's back. I'm kind of glad that Suko's got agency of his own and can do some of the fighting on his own. That's fun. I think that stuff's cool whenever they do that. Here they are out of the box. They're very small. I would guess around 3 inches tall. That'd be my guess. Here's Titanus Doug out of the box, and he is so underwhelming. Playmates, if you're gonna go for the memes, go for it. Doug should be the best looking out of all of them. Did Doug get a redesign from Godzilla vs. Kong, or is this not the same Doug? Because Doug in Godzilla vs. Kong had much larger back spines, and he also wasn't black. Like, why did they paint this guy black? Doug from Godzilla vs. Kong was a light brown with hints of brighter brown. The only darker bits on Doug were his spines and his shoulder plates, so I don't understand why they just made him pure black with these beady little yellow eyes. I do like that they gave him rocky abs, basically. That's funny. I think the shoulder plates look pretty nice. They go into the very unrendered wrist. Across the body, you get an unrendered torso, but I think it's done that way so that the body can articulate a little easier. And then you get into the legs, which I do think have nice shoulder plates, and the tail, which at the very least has a good texture on the top of it. Very alligator-like. The top of Doug looks much better than the bottom of Doug, or even the sides of Doug. The top of Doug looks pretty good. I like all the different back spines they've got on him. I think they've done an okay job with the face. I like that at the very least he's got these big puffy cheeks. He's got the mouth. I like that he's got teeth and a nose and eyes and like a well-defined area around the eyes, as well as good eyebrows. The paint is pretty nothing. Like I said, it just doesn't look like the movie. He's pure black. Maybe in the New Empire he shows up and he's all black. I don't know why they would change the design like that. But in Godzilla vs. Kong, assuming this is what the character is going to look like in the New Empire, which I do think it will be, he was a lot more brown, like bright brown. I don't know why they didn't do that. He's got white teeth, which do look pretty nice, and then yellow eyes. I'm kind of surprised that they even gave articulation to this toy, but his tail articulates, his arms articulate, his legs articulate, and actually, his tail, oh no! It's lucky that Doug's can regrow their tails. Did you know that? His neck and head twist around as well. Doug's dead! 6 points of articulation in total, which I'm very impressed by. I just wouldn't have thought they would have done that. Here's Suko, the baby menace himself. You can certainly attempt to balance the rock in his hand, but he can't really hold it. It's just too big for his hand. This is the rock he comes with. I don't know if this is specifically a reference to that scene in trailer 2 where Suko throws a rock at another gorilla's head, which I really like. It's a fine accessory that I'm glad they gave because I just don't think Suko was enough of a toy. He's just too small. Suko's actually a pretty well-made toy. He's got a good range of motion, and I am glad that they made a Suko because he is such a major character in the new Empire that it would have been a little weird if they didn't include him. And I just tested it. The rock is lightweight enough so that Suko can hold it without falling over. He does have the ability to hold it. Here's Suko. He doesn't look much like he does in the movie. They made him look like a human baby. It's actually kind of weird. In the movie, he's got human baby qualities, but they took that to the limit with this toy, giving him very human baby features. He's got kind of like that human baby beer belly that babies have. His chest looks way too human. His face looks like an exaggerated human baby's face rather than an ape's face. It's weird. It's a decent sculpt. He's got muscles in the back. His chest is separately defined from his belly. The fur looks okay, very shallow, but it's okay. The hands look all right, no fingernails, but he's so small that it doesn't really matter. The feet look okay as well. The ears look good. The face looks good. They've done a good job with the toy. The paint's pretty good. He's got this reddish color all over, just like in the movie. His skin on his fingers, his hands, and his face is a different color, which I like. The eyes being bright green are very interesting. He does have white, green, and then black pupils, which is cool. And then I actually like that he's got a big scar running down his face, more pronounced than he does actually in the movie. The articulation's really where this character shines, is this is like the most articulated Playmates toy of all of them. It's just because he's got such a skinny little sculpt. He has so much range of motion. You can articulate pretty much every single aspect of this character separately. The feet articulate separately from the legs, so do the hands. There's so many different joints all over this guy. He's even got a torso joint. They really made this character very mobile, which is good because he's a monkey, so he's got to have a lot of ability to swing and jump around and flip and do all the sorts of things that a Suko would. Depending on if we're counting double joints, I believe there is either 14 or 18 points of articulation with Suko, so that's actually the most articulated Playmates toy that they've done, I believe. And then including the fact that Doug's in the box as well, there's quite a lot. And there's Suko and Doug together. Suko's just a little taller than Doug. They're about the same when you put Suko's hands up, but as you'd expect, Doug's tail gives him a little extra length. And I do think that's going to be pretty accurate to how it is in the movie as well. For the figure comparisons, I figured I'd introduce Suko to one of his own kind. Here's a little Minilla. Suko's basically the Kong equivalent of Minilla, so I figured I'd get the two of them out. Of course, this is one of those like tiny figures for Godzilla, so he's in an even smaller scale than Suko, but there's the two of those dudes. Kind of wanted to see what Suko would look like next to that mini Kong figure I have, and they're actually pretty cool. This is what the baby Kong maybe should have looked like Kong. And then I wanted to see, I believe this is a Godzilla that was actually gifted to me by Godzilla 154. Suko and Godzilla. Godzilla's a little taller. Uh-oh, Suko, if this was a baby Godzilla, you'd be in for it. And there's Godzilla and Doug looking the same dull color. As for the main Playmates figures, these guys are little pipsqueaks compared to the Godzilla. He just towers over them. I don't know how Godzilla would feel about Suko or Doug. Many people speculate that Doug's species is an offshoot of the Godzilla species, and if that's the case, I could see Godzilla being pretty chill with it, but I have a feeling Godzilla would obliterate Suko because he's kind of a little bit of a racist and he hates apes, so I feel like Godzilla wouldn't tolerate Suko unless he has befriended Kong by that point in the movie. Maybe Godzilla will look out for him because he's just a little innocent guy, and so Godzilla can see that in him, but who knows. Here's Suko and his oppressive father figure, Skar King, again towering over Suko and menacing him. And now we can see where Suko gets his red color from. I believe Skar King's his blood father. And then finally our new adopted father, King Kong. The height difference is a little less pronounced here with Kong. And there's Kong with, I believe, his new companions. His little dog character, and then Suko, his new adopted son. Here's Kong and the son of Kong in the MonsterVerse. I'm glad they made the Suko and Doug playset, especially because having one or the other just doesn't feel worth it to buy. And so I appreciate that they gave both. I also appreciate the wide range of articulation on Suko and the fact that Doug is articulated as well. The paint job on Doug is very underwhelming and doesn't look anything like the movie. But overall, I'd give these figures an 8 out of 10, considering I don't know what more you could have really done with them. Paint Doug better and make Suko's face look a bit more like it does in the movie, but other than that, these are pretty good toys, and I'm happy they exist. Do you have the Suko and Doug pack? If so, let me know down below. I'd love to hear what you guys think of these guys, and what do you think of the designs overall? Think Suko's gonna ride Doug in the movie? I don't know, but we'll make it happen here. Whatever you think of these two, comment them down below and let me know. And as always, I want to give a huge thank you to my patrons over on Patreon. If you want to support the Patreon, you can use the link in the description below where you can get early access to content, access to the Discord community, and more. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I will see you guys next time for the next one. D-Man out.